We're saying goodbye to Tomba. She's going to her forever home now.
Okay, will this size you think will be okay?
Yeah, probably.
Okay. Okay, thank you. Lady, you are not driving over the...
Tomba has gone to her forever home now, where she's got another little buddy her same size. So hopefully she'll live out her life happy and peaceful. But in the meantime, let's get to work. Got to check the waters her first real cold morning. Make sure I got them turned on, right? Good and warm. The first Arctic blast of the winter leads to a lot of changes and challenges in my daily routine of feeding and caring for the livestock. That's the bad part about freezing rain. It freezes the net wrap to the bale. I have to chop it off with an axe and then pick it up here next week, hopefully when it thaws out. In snowy and icy weather, not only do I feed more hay, but I often put the last part of the bale in the bale ring so that the cattle don't trump it into the ground so much. Oh, it doesn't have to be chopped today. It's not solid enough. The good news is I don't have to chop ice this morning. Last night was the first real cold night. The pond hasn't frozen over yet, so it's ice is thin enough the cows can break it themselves easily. Tomorrow morning will be a different story. When it gets extremely cold, like it is today, I feed a full bale of hay at every place, every day, sometimes more than one. Chopping the net wrap off the bales before unrolling is certainly necessary, but one of my least favorite jobs. Makes me envy farmers that have all their bales stored inside. There's not a lot of quantity of snow out of this first winter storm that we've received, but there's a glaze of ice underneath that makes things really slick. Thanks to some suggestions from you viewers out there, I did add some kerosene to my diesel fuel this winter to help prevent the gelling problems that I encountered last winter. So I appreciate your hints and help. Shoveling off these steps, hopefully the sunlight, even though it's not supposed to get up above about 20 today, will melt this off. There's a glaze of ice underneath it. I was going to let the sun melt these steps off this afternoon since they're facing the south, but it's gotten cloudy, so I'm going to spread some rock salt out on them, try to get them melted off. Get back. Get back, wolves. Today was the day we fed corn, wet corn, to the hogs down there, but without little Tomba, she was always the first one at the trough. The other pigs didn't act like they needed to get in there and get after it, so I don't know what's going on. I guess they need some competition. Cold weather feeding usually takes me about twice as much time as it does in normal winter temperatures, but I think the cows appreciate me more in this kind of weather. At least they certainly seem happier to see me when I show up. The secret to chopping ice for the cattle is to start out with a big enough hole, because it'll become smaller with every day that you have to chop it to reopen it. I usually chop on 3 sides, then break it, and then slide the chunk of ice underneath the surface out of the way. It's worked pretty good for me for the past 50 or 60 years. Ice about 2 inches thick this morning. Cows could probably have broken it, but I'd hate for them to get out on it and fall in. So that should do it. Going to do a little repair job on the corrals with our Temple Grandin blinds. The rubber mats that we put up last summer did not last very long. The wind blew them out, pulled them out of the grommets that I spent so much time putting in. So I found these heavy-duty, weatherproof black tarps online, and they're so far working really good as replacement. So we're going to replace one of those today. We were going to do this yesterday, but it was about the same temperature as it is today, really cold and around 20. And it was so stiff we couldn't do anything with it. And then my wife realized that all we had to do was bring it inside the house for a couple hours and it warmed up pretty decently. So she's the genius today. Got the grain all poured up to feed the bulls first thing in the morning. So let's call it a day.